Beastmaster, right? You can just take over the map with Beastmaster early. He's one of the easiest heroes to make ganks on, right? So it's not like you're in a position where you need your other cores to be fast, as long as Beastmaster can take over the early game, which I think he definitely can, and with the Disruptor and Mirana combo afterwards. I also like, by the way, from Execration, they actually swapped their supports. They're going to put Shanks on the Mirana instead of the usual composition to avoid that Enchantress versus Disruptor lane that we were talking about. So very, very clever choice by them. Execration is not a team, at least not to my memory, that actually swaps lanes for the supports. Even if one support can play a hero better, they just swap supports altogether, right? So
and that's important, right? I brought that up in the draft regarding, you know, that Disruptor. He's still a strong laner, but not in the same way that he was traditionally played, because again of the Glimpse kinetic field. Like, Glimpse does damage, right? It's still a good spell, and it was an amazing spell. Now it's even better because they just gave it damage for some reason. But because you now do tend to go for that build instead, you don't really see Disruptor take over lanes like he used to in days past. So you are going to lose the lane to Celery. I don't remember which game I was watching yesterday. It might have been the Nigma Galaxy game versus Talon, where Kuro was just absolutely blasting a Disruptor in lane.
Yeah, I think it was the Nigma. Celery's in a glimpse back though. Talked about the Enchantress a little bit. Didn't go for the healing yet, so that's very good. Celery wasn't forced to put the point where he didn't want it. And Duracho covers his escape nicely with the Frost Arrows.
They messed up the combo there on the supports. Carlo and Shanks didn't really communicate that. I'm not sure what happened, really. But level 1 Glimpse was taken, as well as level 1 Arrow. So, oh, well, hold on. They still might end up getting Celery here.
Oh, yeah, he just walked back up. I was expecting him to stay, but the Arrow misses again, the Glimpse, and that will allow Carlo to get the kill. Just let me Glimpse, man. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, long cooldown on that spell, level 1. But a good kill there. And, well, again, this is okay, right? Normally lots of Potums. The reason I'm dwelling on this is because we tend to not see arrows so early on anymore. It tends to be like sometimes even a 201 with an arrow at level 4 for these laning Miranas. But having now the arrow into this Ench when Celery is going to want to go for the Enchant build instead does give you a purpose for this level 1 on top of the First Blood. I'm eager to see if Celery is going to want to change up the build here and try and go for the Nature's Attendants instead. I don't know if this is still a matchup that he's going to win against the Mirana with Arrow, Leap, and against the Axis build of the Beastmaster. So, you know, there's questions there. I don't know how Celery is going to be able to do that mental math, but I'm eager to see what conclusion he comes to.
Yeah, so Enchant, you need to be level 4 for it to be higher or lesser cooldown than Arrow. So I don't think it's very worth it unless you're contesting Mirana's mana, really. So I could see the Nature's Attendants build being instead, or just the Impetus build even, just to win the lane, whatever it is, right? Doesn't really matter. If you're not going for Enchant, the mid-game possibilities, though, do go down by a lot. But your laning becomes easier.
Whatever he decides,
Tino?
right? Ooh, Tino.
Oh, Tino? They got him a Tango. He has Ring of Protection, which is helping him out a lot here, by the way.
He's got a little bit of bonus armor. Yeah, I am curious to see what Celery's going to do, right? Because I think his job here...
Tofu dies to the attacks from Carlo. They caught him. They try to do the combo here on Disruptor, but Carlo's a little bit too tanky. In the top lane, Celery, though, does finish off Tino with a single impetus, and he does have 1 point in Enchant already.
All right, so it'll be a very standard build. I think that makes sense to me this game. It amps up your push even more, right? Ace, early on, is going to be going for that Vanguard after the... Oh, he's going Phase Boots first, actually. Lovely. You've got a little bit of a theory about the Centaur first item, whether it's Phase Boots or Vanguard, don't you?
That wasn't really me. I always just paired with Fear. Told me one day in the broadcast where he was frustrated. You know, he hadn't had his morning coffee. He was watching a Centaur going for Vanguard first, and he just told us how he was the Centaur. When you go Phase Boots, right, you actually are weaker per se, but you're more you can be more aggressive in lane because of the extra movement speed and the damage, right? It's a much more pressure item. Whereas Vanguard, it seems like the better item almost always, but all it does allows you to tank things. So people just ignore you and you leave, right? So it's not as strong at putting pressure at the opponent or chasing them down or whatever it is. And if you're winning the lane, Phase Boots should always be the choice.
That's right. I do wonder, well, he's not against a ranged hero here, but I do wonder if, again, Centaur not the most popular hero these days, but if he was played more frequently against ranged heroes, if he'd want to go for Vanguard more, just to be able to take over the lane and try and kick out these ranged heroes, especially when you do have setup in a disruption to be able to close the gap and do a bit more damage back, or if Phase Boots is just always the right decision here.
I mean, in the case of range heroes, phase was always the right decision. I've tried it. Like, you just run at them, and they can't contest your insane HP in the early. And because you have the extra armor, they can't really fight. Like, they can't really do the thing where they attack, move back, because you have too much movement speed.
Right.
So then you just run at them, and you run on the tower, and they go, oh, we're safe. Oh, no, double edge times 3. And then you kill them. As long as you have support that has some sort of utility, which of course never happens in SC, but here it does, in competitive though.
Yep, indeed. Top lane, by the way, Tino, no real big action, but Tino does finally have these level 2 axes. So the pain is starting to pile on. Celery's been doing a phenomenal job in this lane, basically, between the enchant and impetus. But Dyrachyo is running out.
Okay, sorry. He almost got Quinn off that shield crash. That was very, very clutch.
Yeah, and I did want to now focus actually onto this mid lane matchup and check in on it.
Palos is trying to kill off Tofu, Thunderstrike, they glimpse him back, that damage should be sufficient as Palos goes for ace now, but realizes he can't quite kill this tanky.
That's really interesting. Carlo's gone for 2 points in Thunderstrike. Don't see that a whole lot these days. And I believe the reason being is that for these tanky offlaners, like a Centaur, like an Axe, a little bit like an Underlord as well, the way that you can counter them in lane, especially while this Monkey King doesn't have max Jingu quite yet, is you counter them through just mass magic damage, right? Like Lich is phenomenal in that. I think, Palos.
Oh, what a nice bait there by Ace. Mischief didn't stop the damage from Hoof Stomp, which is level 2, so that damage is very important. And they get the kill on Palos, who overextended in his positioning.
Way too greedy, and it's just unnecessary, honestly. You know, it has only a level 2 Jingu Mastery with only a level 1 Boundless Strike. Just wasn't really going to be too worth his trouble there, especially with Tofu having a short respawn timer, right? It's not like he just bought back or something like that. So bit painful there. Palos looking to really flex his new Orb of Corrosion here and get a little bit more aggressive in lane. And again, I think this is why perhaps Carlo decided to go for that second point in Thunderstrike, just to be able to get a little bit more aggressive and just raw damage, right, into this Centaur. He probably knows he's going to be looking to build armor instead of the Hood of Defiance. So this damage will eventually start to stack up and end up hurting a little bit. Whether or not it's the right choice, we are going to have to see, though. Again, that Kinetic Field Glimpse build has been quite popular.
Yes, but I am interested. I follow the logic that you're saying. I think that this is also the right choice for this lane. The question, of course, is in the mid game. I guess if you can still manage to max Glimpse no matter what, it's okay. Right? Like you put like the next 2 points, next point in Glimpse, 1 point Kinetic Field, and then you just max Glimpse. I don't know if you can get away with maxing Thunderstrike in a game like this.
No, I think that's a mistake. I would agree with you. It's a powerful spell, this Thunderstrike, but I think you've got way more utility in a Centaur-based lineup, again, just off of your control that you provide, and that's by putting levels and Glimpse in Thunderstrike, because he does rotate mid. Power Rune spawns top for Bob. He's starting to, in the past couple minutes at least, Avo, kind of broke away a little bit here in this lane. In terms of experience, yes, as he's a whole half a level ahead of Quinn, who has just hit level 6, but also in terms of his CS and denies, of course. So this lane is still quite a bit TA favored, as they do get that kill top lane. Shanks just running down the Enchantress.
Still same build as always. Starstorm build just started with an earlier pointing arrow, but he's eventually becoming the normal Morana that we love. Yep. Well, I don't know, it's love. We exist. We bear, we tolerate.
The one that Moonlight shadows into our triangle. You know the one. You know.
And then Starstorm's the stacks and doesn't actually do anything. Like, is she ganking me? And Tino, Frost Arrow. There's the multi-shot as well. Tino going through the trees. Not gonna surprise the rush.
Bottom too.
And that bottom, there's a kill happening on Tofu, who's Palos is now kind of safely walk away from the Centaur, who has nothing else to do but double edge him. Mischief's very strong against that. Oh, he even avoided the shadow poison damage. Okay, impressive, Palos.
Very nice. Quinn
Ever since that Manta dodge of the Glimpse, I feel like Palos is just showing off now.
Yep. Bob as well as...
Okay, hoof stomp. He got it. He got the hoof stomp off, but the Glimpse sends him back. No, who needs Kinetic Field where he just got damage?
That attack range is ridiculous. Tofu, by the way, he's got a TP mid and refill the bottle of Quinn, who is really actually starting to suffer here quite a bit. Bob does have to be careful here. As silly as it sounds, Disruption is a very good setup for Rolling Thunder. Allows you to easily get in position, especially if you can catch this TA in something like that pinball zone. So while he is showing in the mid lane, Tofu does a lot of work to protect and to really stop any sort of too aggressive dives underneath Quinn's tower, which is quickly going down. This has just been through the work of Bob, like a couple of rotations here from Execration for sure.
Bob our savior.
This is going to be a little bit problematic for gaming Gladiators here. hood, sorry, this Helm of the Dom, rather, is going to be slightly slower because it's going to be the Max Axis build, so he went for the Arcanes. But he's still eventually going to really start pushing here in this top lane as Tino. And by then, they're not even going to need him. Quinn's going to rotate down bottom. He does leave his tower mid undefended, but it might be worth it here if they can set up here onto Palos. Ace is still half a level away from Stampede, so this needs to be the setup.
On bottom, can they kill Palos in time? The Glimpse might just save him here, gets the Boundless Strike, but he still has the Shadow Poison on him. This time he won't be able to get the Mischief off. In fact, they can just trigger it if they want to. Tofu doesn't have enough damage, actually. Just barely. 3 stacks were not enough. He dances himself to victory.
Yeah, 6 HP, he TP's away on there, so over there a little bit. That last little GG branch making the difference. As Celery is going to be caught and killed here, trying to ruin the efficiency of the enemy jungle, or triangle. Kill goes to Bob, and...
Didn't ruin much, honestly.
No. Does scout the stacks. I don't really think he's in a position to contest here, unfortunately. Neither is this Drow Ranger. Ace, not the kind of hero either. Who did, by the way, finish Vanguard before the phase boots. He had the brown boots picked up first, and then did decide to go back for the Vanguard after the Ring of Health pickup. Just to close out our little discussion there on the phase boots versus Vanguard builds.
I mean, he lost the lane, right? So this is definitely the right build. Vanguard to help you out. I think it's not always the right choice if, again, you're losing the lane. Shanks, though, that was 1, 2, 3 leaps to the low ground. He goes.
Yep. Not afraid of the non-impetus spear chasing him, so he is safely away. Bob off to a phenomenal start, as we kind of were expecting for him. Oh, Quinn.
Carlo. Okay, there's a static storm. Kinetic field. He closes Pango, but no, not quite. And Disruption actually doesn't even save him because Pango doesn't need saving right now. Still has the Rolling Thunder available, but Bob wants to fight this. Just the melt slow. The melt, the minus Sora plus the slow from the trap. Quinn decides to go back in with the shield crash. Sees the opportunity. Might kill Bob in this. Palos, though, dangerous and nearby. Can he catch Quinn? One last swashbuckle. He's out of mana and now out of life. Both mid laners. They kill each other in the mid lane. Not much you could do there once Quinn decided that Bob was going to die.
I am checking to see, because I'm not sure of this interaction. Again, new ability on the hero and not very popular. But I'm checking to see if Disseminate, if its damage instance counts as a separate stack in terms of breaking refraction charges. If you'll give me a moment to just double check that.
Sorry?
If Disseminate counts as additional attack instances or damage instances at destroying refraction charges.
That's a good question. I have no clue.
Yes, I'm checking that now. I know OD is the big one, right? You commonly see that pick against, well, we used to really see that pick against TA mids because of the Arcane Orb interaction with that. Diffusal Blade does not work like that, right? There's a couple of interactions with this one. Let me go ahead and see if this works.
Okay. While you test that, we'll watch a gank down bottom where Quinn and Tofu are trying to hunt down a Palos, who is just farming his way safely in the bottom lane. Got hit by a pretty big swashbuckle there. 3 deaths. There we go. Palos is safely out for now. Can Tofu scout him? Oh, that Shadow Poison does scout him, actually. They know where he is, but they just have nothing to get to him. But well done, Tofu. He did his job to the best of his ability. And as the rest of Execration is set up for perhaps a Moonlight Shadow, is this an attempt to gank it from behind? Doesn't seem like they can interrupt Gaming Gladiators' push right now. Just barreling towards that tower. And they're going to take it any second now.
Yeah, still in this bottom lane. Might try and defend this, but he's going to need more heroes. Can't really do it on his own. Right now, he doesn't really have much of a safe jungle to move into with Quinn on the prowl, and of course with Tino farming safely in his triangle. So he's a little bit of a displaced Monkey King right now, a king with no throne, so to speak.
They do say there's a deforestation issue happening for monkeys, though. They're all dying. Carlo also dies. He is not a monkey, but he's a dinosaur, and he was supposed to be extinct ages ago. He has decided to max the Glimpse after all. Only 2 points of Thunderstrike. I like this from Carlo. He understood that he cannot commit to this Thunderstrike build as much as he would like to, because he felt like he was actually having impact as Disruptor for once, dealing damage. It's like, guys, I can do so much.
Okay, it appears to only count as 1 damage instance, so it's added onto the same exact tick, if that makes sense. So it does not destroy TA, at least from my little test here. It does not actually end up demolishing.
What about if it's on your allies? If it's on your allies and it hits TA, does that destroy refraction instance?
That is another good test, Avo. Very good question.
Since you're already at it, you might as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Ace is being hunted in the top lane by Shanks, who Still got the kill here on the center, but doesn't have the vision to do so. Right now, Execration is also... They haven't really hate their timings to fight anyway. Neither have Gaming Gladiators, so both teams are content with just farming and taking whatever stragglers they can find. Execration, though, their timing is... Timing isn't but an illusion. It's an intersubjective idea we all decided together, but it doesn't actually exist. And Bob is going to show it to us by ganking Duracho 500 gold away from his Blink Dagger. First is Tina, though. He's going to reveal himself. The Static Storm does not catch Duracho. They glimpse him back in, and Bob will be ready with the meld. The air won't hit, but the body blocks will actually stop Duracho, and they got the kill thanks to From a Roar. Tina can get away. Shanks, though, has leaps. Most likely not going to die here, waiting for the Roche to kill him instead. And he's going to deny himself to the Roche as Gaming Gladiators lose only their carry in exchange for support. Somewhat exchange for support.
So you know what's really weird about this interaction, Avo? I'm actually really happy that you decided to have me test this. It appears that it goes through refraction. So you do not break refraction charges, but you damage the TA through the refraction with Disseminate.
Oh. Wait a second. Carlo is playing around with the ball. Carlo? I don't think he's getting out of this one. Quape did get stopped though. Really? They're going to desist? Okay. That was all they needed. No swashbuckle. No other attempts. Hellbear Smasher took the long routes. Bob will protect them.
That is a super interesting interaction. I've never thought it would work like this. The only other thing that works like this is if it's flagged as HP removal, right? Something like the Necrophos Heartstopper aura.
Even though it's technically not HP removal anymore.
Yes, that's right. The old way. But it
does go through too, for some reason.
Yeah, so it appears to work in that sense then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see this skill in action later. I mean, you have a Centaur for a reason, right? We'll see what build he goes for. He just had to go for Crimson Guard fully first.
I'm also curious to see whether or not this is going to make any big of a difference.
Static Storm in 3 seconds. Might be a little bit later. Bob is joining in. Crimson Guard.
Whoa, full Crimson.
Takes Ace for now.
Yeah, he's okay. He's too tanky with that Crimson Guard against all this physical damage. Max Axes, though, so can't stick around for too long, right?
These arrows, Shags is not hitting a single one of them. He can leap, though. That's not to be stopped by the Demonic Purge as Ace dies in the sidelines. And now, Shanks, it's your time to shine. Shine, not Shanks. Tofu? Okay, Shanks did absolutely nothing. It was all Carlo. Carlo's the real support here. Shanks is honestly just fodder, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job on these leaps, right?
Yeah, great leaps, man. Wow, top tier Mirana gameplay.
That's okay, right? You can't miss your Star Storms, and that's the important part here for Shanks, who is not really connecting on too many of these arrows, but doesn't really need to right now.
He's missed like 3 or 4 point-blank arrows.
Yeah, I mean, look, did he miss them? Were they zoning arrows to set up for the Bob Blink Dagger?
Probably
so
zoning arrows,
the kills? I mean, come on, Navo.
I'm sorry.
Come on. So, you know, Bob, again, just still having a highlight of a game, right? Once again, it seems like Execration have really revolved around Bob's performances in the especially early to mid game, and from there they fought well as a team to take games. We'll see how that serves against Gaming Gladiators, who are rolling up really far for a fight.
Yeah, Tino has no problem more this time to save him, but Carlos sends a Static Storm instead. Center stuck inside of it. The Quinn is still outside. He already dealt this burst of damage. He got cut by an arrow. Shanks hit one, and now Quinn might die. Shield Crash saving him for a couple more seconds, but he falls to Bob's overwhelming damage. In exchange for Carlo, of course. Nice stops Paulo's aggression. Ace getting away with the face boots. Boundless Strike also misses, and Tofu now takes away the damage from Paulo's. They go for Bob instead, though. He's out of refraction charges. He's out of life. Duracho once more to disrupt Paulo's. Hoping they can kill him as well. He avoids some damage with Mischief, but is that going to work? Okay, the arrow actually hitting Duracho, not going to help him enough. Shags finally hitting his arrows, but his teammates are dead, so they can't capitalize on them. And now with the Primal Roar finally available, the user on Duracho, hoping to get the kill, they do.
The Helm of the Overlord
gets stopped. He avoids
kicking their butt.
Good positioning here. Kinetic Field as well from Carlo keeps them in place, but they are going to lose Tino in the process, as now, thanks to the Dragon's help, they can kill Tofu, or hopefully, he does enough mana. Carlo in trouble. I see that the fire. They're trying to body block him. He's body blocking himself with his own illusions. Carlo sets up the last Thunderstrike, and with that smoke, they won't get away because the Thunderstrike eliminates Tofu. Celery, I think, is the only survivor of this team fight.
He is. He is. Literally the only survivor. Everyone else in the lobby died except for Celery, and now his Hellbear Smasher that he's going to take with him. What a freaking fight. I love this series already, man. Gaming Gladiators, they're not backing down from fights.
Full Execration.
And neither will Execration, apparently, who even after they miss their stuns, say, you know what, if Nigma doesn't even need to draft stuns, we don't even need to hit our stuns to win these fights. They go in anyway. The fight's actually not that bad. Kind of crazy here. I'm loving this game so far, though, honestly. All these auras, though, really making a big difference, I have to say. On a more
Crimson
serious
Guard
note,
especially.
Ace deciding to go into this Crimson Guard early. He's not going to go back for this mechanism because Celery actually has already built it up. He's actually maxed the Nature's Attendance here alongside the Enchant. So Gaming Gladiators are really gearing up to be able to fight as early as they can. Quinn slightly overextending there on that very initial bit of initiation there with the Rolling Thunder, but an understandable kind of case, right? Because he had just, pardon me, got on his Diffusal Blade and he was eager and rearing for a fight. Drums of Endurance as well on Tofu, man. I love this. Everyone, it's just full fight early on here.
I like this. It's just
Fight
war.
Club, the game.
Yeah, honestly. The first rule of Fight Club is... Oh, Execration's already screaming the name. All right, well, it's okay. I mean, this is the essence of Dota. This is what Execration never really got in their games, because a couple of the teams in C have actually gotten quite passive, right? But I think this is what C was always known for, their great team fighting. And we're seeing it right here. Shanks will be taking a little bit of damage. Not that big a deal. Does Demonic Purge wasted, actually. No 4-steps yet on the side of Execration. I wonder if they'll build them at all against a Shadow Demon. They don't have the best 4-step builders in general. Carlo might consider it later.
Yeah, that's a good point, really. Alternatively, I always really like a Yule Scepter
Palos?
against...
No way. He's just like, guys, I think I'm good. I didn't get killed. There he goes. Static Storm. Wukong's command. Hurricane Pike giving the Drow some space, but she's still hit by the Statue Monkeys. And Hiracho will just die. Celery can provide nothing but some cover. Shanks did die the top lane against Ace, and Bob was farming the mid lane. They were running towards him, but Bob makes it out alive in time.
Yep. You used to be able to actually Hurricane Pike yourself out of kinetic field because it only stops. It used to only stop forward movement by setting it to 0 as you approach the edge of the kinetic field. Seems like that's been changed, as obviously he was stuck inside the kinetic field, but good muscle memory there, and at least does push the Monkey King as far away, buys as much time, unable to do too much about it. And the kill onto the Mirana in exchange obviously does not feel as good. Interesting as well, itemization here. The Urn of Shadows on the bottom. Not the craziest of items these days, but they have been slightly nerfing the Spirit Vessel over the last couple of patches. Nothing too crazy, just like an extra 100, I think it's extra 300 gold from when it used to be picked up like every single game. Does make a difference in the early game. Wondering if he's thinking this is a game where he does want to eventually upgrade that urn into the vessel on this bottom. Is anyone else building the mech? Yeah, he is, right? So he's got to go for Greaves first, so the vessel's going to be even later. It's an interesting choice here.
It's okay item this game. I wouldn't say it's like a necessity, so you might get it later when you upgrade it. Honestly, the Vit booster is quite nice on the Murano, especially when you got Greaves, because you have so much effective HP at that moment, right? With a vessel. And if you have nothing else to build, you might as well. Bob has the illusion room the whole time. They glimpse back Quinn just in case. They should know there's a smoke coming. And this time Execration doesn't want to fight. Ace almost gets a double stun, but it only gets one here behind Carlo as the leap saves Shanks from surefire death. He is stunned both though, but the leap got him out.
TA Shard as well has been upgraded. We haven't really seen Bob get too active lately, and that's because he's been farming up his next item. This Desolator now online on top of the Blink Dagger and the Dragon Lance. No BKB here. Will that make too big of a difference here is the question, right? Against Demonic Purge. I don't know. Curious here. Execration, though, I don't believe they can really contest this Roche. It's going down way too fast. They're gonna try, though.
They will. They activate the BKB. That's Wukong's command. Quinn tries to bonk into Palos. That's not going to do much. He tries to get the Boundless Strike.
Quinn got it.
Stunned him. There was the Bash of the Road. There's the Primal Roar. The Ace is stolen by Quinn as well, and he's stuck somewhere in that pit. Quinn gets out with Swashbuckle, but he will lose his life in the process. And Palos somehow surviving this onslaught thanks to the extra armor. That loses the Wukong's command. Duracho is out of mana, though, so he can't fight much longer. Quinn also retreats. Celery will be the one that deals with Palos instead. Stays back to try to kill this Monkey King. Someone help him, please. The support.
A lot of shadow poison.
Massacre the Monkey King. Ooh. The Tofu is gonna die in the backline. The Boundless Strike as well. Palos getting the life steal. He will live. He is not going to die to a simple Celery today. Gaming Gladiators, they might have taken the Roche and the Aegis, but they haven't taken any lives here.
No, they haven't. I got really confused there for a second. I've actually never seen Monkey King mischief into Roche and then proceed to Boundless Strike his enemies. But that was actually
bashed by Roche halfway through the Boundless Strike. What are the chances of him actually getting bashed?
Well,
what pierces BKB on the Gaming Gladiators line? Roche does, of course.
He paid it back, you know. He did pay it back. He had no chance as well to tree dance outside of the Roche pit, even though he had lots of trees. That's because Tofu kept just spitting Shadow Poison at him and just doing enough damage to prevent him. Almost got that 5th stack, which I believe would have been lethal with the way that that stacks up, as well as with having max Shadow Poison. Did not go for this talent though on Tofu. Instead went for the 12 strength. You've been talking a lot about how these HP talents feel really, really good on supports, especially these days. Haven't you, right? Especially against range supports. That one's, what, 20 strength per, so 240 HP? Not bad at all at level 10.
Yeah, it's very good. I was just incredibly good for Shadow Demon. It's like literally a solid 5th of your HP given to you by this talent.
He's also
HP region.
He's also gone for the drums, right, for a bit more strength, and has Nether Shoal, so he's got pretty good armor and pretty good resistances right now. Rather tanky here, surprisingly, for a Shadow Demon, I would say.
Okay, this fight by getting Gladiators, they're going to the enemy high gun. Carlo will surprise them. This kinetic field prevents anyone else from using this ramp. Sorry guys, ramp out of service.
Ramp closed, bridge out.
Like, guys, we live in the Philippines. This is normal for us.
Ace,
you know how many escalators break every day in Siege?
Ace did use the Crimson Guard, though. So all that Execration really needs to do here to take a good fight is, yeah, just wait out that Crimson Guard buff. This is maybe a little bit of a timing for them, but... Oh, and an arrow hit.
I don't know if they do something on this.
Yeah, no
That was a very bog arrow.
Quinn's so close to Ag Scepter as well. It'd be such a great time to actually kill him here if they could. Wow, did you see how greedy Bob was there? Tried to actually go for the deny.
Yes, I think that was the right choice, though. 250 gold's a lot, man. You gave it to the Pango.
Yeah.
He got his Ags off this.
Yeah,
he got his Ags off
it.
this Centaur,
You're right.
man.
Okay.
Bob
Ag Scepter delivered.
Okay, Quinn is now a menace. Okay, this is much worse.
Now?
Now this is a little bit too much. Well, he's not getting punished. He knows there's not much initiation Gaming Gladiators has right now. Unless the Centaur initiates on them, but obviously he's showing top.
Quinn's always been a menace, man. You best not false the Dota2 scene lest you face the wrath of that Quinn Dota2. Ace now.
Activates the Stampede. The stun catches him. No Echo Saber, so no slow. Shanks is coming in. He's like, guys, I need to be point blank to hit this arrow.
Guys, I missed the arrow.
The arrow is where Ace should have been. There's the glimpse ready, though.
Okay, they delete the Shadow Demon in the meantime.
Okay, Ace gets a stun. Glimpse is ready this whole time, but Carlo's really
Hello?
There we go. There's the glimpse. Oh, and it hits the arrow as well. That's what he was waiting for. He set up for Shanks' arrow. Absolute god, Carlo.
This is really awkward for Gaming Gladiators. They got to be careful not to get pinched here by this double damage TA, because she just immediately blew Tofu up.
Oh,
there's a roar, though.
They pinched her. They pinched Duracho, and he was not sleeping, my friend. What? He went to sleep with the fishes instead.
Yeah, he did. That was a very violent catch there. And like I was saying, they have to be careful not to get pinched. They kind of ended up leading Ace. Led the entire team a little bit on a wild goose chase, and they kind of looked a little bit directionless, just kind of farming awkwardly in the jungle. Didn't really know how to react to the aggression. They tried to move into the triangle, which is a pretty orthodox move that you tend to see, but ended up getting a little bit surprised there by Bob just kind of blowing right through Tofu. Weren't really reacting with the best information. The ward right now, the wards, I should say, from Execration is really, really phenomenal. Not to mention already their phenomenal vision game that they have in general between Thunderstrike, TA, Traps, Beastmaster, you know. They have a really great vision game, and I think it's starting to really show here. Gaming Gladiators struggling just a little bit here in terms of actually finding safe spaces on the maps to move out. It feels like, Avo, every single time the past couple of minutes the Gaming Gladiators have tried to move out, they've always encountered some sort of resistance or a couple of heroes just waiting on the other side of a ramp for them. I mean, just ask Celery. That's how he started this game, for crying out loud.
Honestly, I mean, when I say a couple of heroes, I think the main hero here is Carlo, which has been kind of giving a master class of how to play Disruptor in these choke spots.
It's true. And Shanks as well, who stands all the way up front, so he can't miss the arrow.
If they kill Carlo, no more choke points here. Goodbye, Carlo. And now, of course, all of Execration should retreat.
They will. For now.
This was the thing we pointed out in the draft as well, with the Stampede being a little bit nullified by the Disruptor. It feels pretty bad when you're Centaur. You're like, oh guys, Stampede in! Wait, use the other ramp! Use the other ramp! This one's covered! Yeah. It's like, you have to BKB Stampede, does not feel great. Draws to put herself out of position in those situations. It's just a lot of awkwardness when Disruptor's involved.
It's the Lycan into Mars Arena of Blood, right? It's oh boy, look how fast I am to run nowhere. It's just not as good, right? Celery is dead. And this past couple minutes have felt really painful as well for Gaming Gladiators. For Quinn especially, he's just had to be patient here because he's had Ag Scepter Avo for like 3 minutes. Has not found the fight to use it yet. This could be it, though.
They really want to kill this dragon, and Paulo just went, okay, I guess I'll kill you. What an arrow! Calculating the Manta style somehow. And that should be able to kill Duracho. Okay, Shanks has completely redeemed himself from whatever happened in the early game.
Shanks is like that guy you bring bowling. Hold on, we're fighting more.
They only get strikes or nothing.
Yeah, no, what I was going to say is he only hits the most difficult spares.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, now this should be at least one lane of racks, if not two, or yeah, two maybe. Because you don't have any more glyphs. Oh, they got Quinn. Glimpse him back into the arrow again, and that's Quinn dead. Ace can't help him. Hoofstomp's too late. They're gonna go for another. Now that they stagger the deaths, they can go for another set of racks because they have no team fight without Quinn.
They also don't have Crimson, which, as you can see, actually does work on buildings. So they're gonna. I mean, they've already got this Deso TA, right? Monkey King to physical damage, the inner Beast Aura, like
already that to 2 hits. Oh, no.
They're kicking some major butt here, but without the Crimson, especially, these things go down real fast. And Quinn's dead for 30 seconds. He bought out. He bought out for this plate mail. And how much did that help him? Not at all.
Nothing.
He had the guard buff. He had the plate mail. He might have even had I didn't quite notice. He might have even had a 20% damage debuff as well on shield crash. Didn't matter. Didn't make.
No. Duracho. Oh, they're gonna go for Ace instead, who seems like an easier target. Ace got saved by disruption for now, but he's still stuck in kinetic field near the Wugon's command. Walks out of the Wugon's command. Ace's force doesn't work. The Stampede will. It's right on to Duracho. They just jump onto him. Like this to be Gibby. He's slowed by demonic perch. He TP's in the middle of this. They might still be able to kill Ace. The arrow hits him again.
What the hell?
Shanks the sniper. Oh my god. Now Tino is on the run. He had to turn back to witness the beauty of that arrow. He has a TP, but Quinn is following after him. Now he's gonna finally TP. There's no Rolling Thunder, there's no Basher. I think he can stop
he canceled the TP.
He actually canceled himself because Execration.
Because
look, War!
Pulse.
Go! War! Duracho stopped and Duracho's dead! Now, because Shanks has no arrow, they can't chase after Toph. Oh, they will. They just jump onto him. Toph was not running anywhere. Quinn has also been silent for the trap.
And
Quinn is gonna be glimpsed back. Quinn can't save himself. He goes with a swashbuckle here out of the kinetic field into the arms of Bob's Angel of Death. GG is called. Execration will take Gaming Gladiators for a ride, but not on the cart they were looking for, but rather a ride of death in a tuk-tuk motorcycle.
There it is, the tuk-tuk. And very difficult there, you know. Celery's actually a pretty tall lad, so his legs were sticking out, and he lost a couple of those legs, unfortunately. 2 arrows from Shanks. What in the world? What an absolute recovery out from Shanks here, right? Not to overly focus on a couple of small mistakes in the early game, but he was missing a lot of those arrows, just straight up, right? They weren't
and they were point blank as well. It was like he needed a warm-up or something. It was wild. It literally is night and day.